going to see how we can import a turning insert and a turning holder into a lathe environment. Before I begin, I'd like to point out that under document control, I've already started a new part with just a standard lathe as the machine itself, but I could of course have picked any kind of lathe or MTM center to do this. So here again I have horizontal lathe, generic shank established. Now there are other ways to import import and insert in a holder. One way is through the Coro Plus tool library, which is here under the plugins. We're not concentrating on any particular vendor here, so I'm going to show you how to do it with ISCAR. There's not a preference for ISCAR or any other tooling provider. It's simply one that I've chosen for the purposes of this demonstration. So let me go ahead and jump to their website. And like a lot of tooling websites these days, they have an electronic catalog option, or ECAT, as ISCAR calls them. And you can see that's pretty well organized. I'm going to, of course, pick ISO turning as my option, and then I'll just jump directly to the turning inserts. What I want to create is a 1/2 inch inscribed circle diameter, 80-degree insert. So I'm going to filter by that. Now, this particular website, their catalog is all in millimeters, metric. So that would be 12.7, and you can see that I have 245 options here at this point. I'm going to just pick the first one that I see here. And it gives me 3 sub items I can choose from here. Again, I'll just pick the first one that I see. And it builds that up, and it shows me here the model of the insert itself. At this point, I'm going to click this button that says add it to the assembly. And now it's showing me up here the status of the assembly. Now right here would be the tool holder, so I haven't picked anything for that as yet. So I'm going to go ahead and select in here, and again I'll just pick the first option that I see in all of the lists. Okay, and again I get a preview this time of the holder itself. I'm going to go ahead and add that to the assembly. And now I have that all established. Okay, so I could go ahead now and pick here. You notice that I can actually go further, possibly a tool block or something. You can say build the assembly, and it's generating an image for me. Again, I can go on here. Now I see that I have the insert and the holder itself. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and tell it to download this assembly. And it's done. So I'm going to hop back into GibbsCAM, and I'm going to use File Import to go ahead and import that into this. Get a step file. In this particular case, this website just happened to use step files, but of course, we can read in just about any solid representation available today. And it's here. It's ready to go. I can kind of, let me add some edges on so we can see it a little bit better. So I see I have both the insert and the holder ready to go. Now, this is not in the orientation I want it to be, so that may be the case, may not be the case, depending on the website you choose to use. But in this particular case, we do need to reorient this and also change the origin itself. So I'm going to pick both of these and start by doing a rotation of 90 degrees counterclockwise, and you can go ahead and you can see that I've now got the orientation complete. What I need to do now is establish the 0 point, or the touch-off point, as it's known for the insert itself. So I'm going to zoom up here and do a little geometry creation. Okay, and just to make sure it's a circle, I'm going to check the labels, and of course it's not a circle anymore. So in this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and split this up into two pieces using the split function. So now I have 3 points I create a circle through. So I'll get rid of the B-spline, go into my geometry, and pick a circle by 3 features, or 3 points in this particular case. And there's that. Now I'm going to go ahead and make a line that's tangent to a circle, the one I just made at 90 degrees. This is the one I want. And then also at 0 degrees on this, tangent to it at 0 degrees. And I want this lower line. Okay, so now I've got both my vertical and horizontal lines. I'm going to connect these up. That's a Gibbs terminology. And I can see now that this is the point that I want to be at. Move this to 0. I'm going to move the insert and the tool holder to the origin using this point. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-select those solids, zoom back up to that 0 point, and I'm going to use the absolute translate function, and I'm going to use the Shift-Alt function to go ahead and pick that 0 point, and again I want it to go to 0, 0, 0. I'll hit do it, do a little cleanup on my geometry here, get rid of this geometry, and now if I auto zoom, it should be in the correct place. So now we're all set to define the insert and the holder. So I'm going to start by just double clicking in my tool tile area, and I'm going to use the 3D form function for the insert. Select the insert itself and say apply, and you can see now that it's established that there. Now to add the holder, all I have to do is go up here and pick custom. Make sure it's set on solid. Pre-select the solid itself for the tool holder and say use selected solid. And you can see now in the area that we indeed have established both the insert and the holder itself. Now that that's done, I can either delete these, or I can just put them in the body bag just so that they're out of the way, because we don't need to see them anymore now that the tool definition is complete. So that's how you create, or rather import, a tool holder and insert. Now again, to emphasize, I used a particular website, but I could use other websites. I could be in another modeling application and create them and import them from there, if that's an option that you have. So the source of the insert and the holder really isn't important. You'd use pretty much the same procedure as I've shown you here today, regardless of the source of the information. So thank you very much.